Hi, welcome back to Motorsport-inspired, I keep saying. Hi, welcome back to Barcelona Speed Shop. Mike here. Today we're going to crack on. I've got this big bumper in front of me. We're going to crack on with getting this onto our Porsche Panamera before it goes off round the corner to the body shop to get the wing put on it. We're just about ready. We've got an intercooler to put on before we do that actually. But first I want to go into this bumper that we have here. This bumper, I'm guessing, is a second-hand bumper that was bought after the crash, because I'm pretty sure the original bumper on the car would have been pretty much totaled with the severity of the hit that car took. So it's a second-hand bumper. It's got a couple of issues that we've got to address before we get it on the car. One of them being the headlight washer units. Both of them. I've got cracked lugs here that we can't do anything with that. I've got to replace the whole unit. What's more common than that actually on these is the top washer unit here, the spring part that comes out. What happens here, there's no actual pump in here, it's just a unit that takes the pressure from the pump through here and it pushes this up. This is quite a strong spring actually in this little unit here. This can be changed itself without changing the whole unit. I'll show you how to do that in a second. You've got to take the bumper off to change that though, because what happens is you put the unit in from behind, and then this little bit here that sits on there with this unit attached to it goes down into the unit, and it's got a little kind of ratchet that you can't take off again unless you take the unit out from behind. So that's why you've got to do it with the bumper off. This here, I wouldn't say it's a bad design, but it's a bad design. This has to break at some point. This is quite a strong spring, as I said, and this is just a little tiny, if you look at this one here, I'll get up to the camera a bit closer. This little lug here is alright, and this one snapped off. This basically sits on like so, or the other way around. Where are we here? Let's have a look. Yeah, so we sit on like that, and you can imagine that basically sits on top of your bumper. This thing goes up and down and washes your headlights for you. But with a moving part like that, a little plastic lug like that is simply not good enough. It's not going to work, and it doesn't. I guess to put a metal pin in there in the manufacturing process would put the costs up. I shouldn't imagine it would put it up that much though, because this part has to fail, and to be honest it's a bit of a pain in the neck to replace the thing. That's probably why you see a lot of cars with a hole in the top of the bumper, because the people just can't be bothered getting the thing fixed. This unit's made by Headlight, so it's probably in a lot of cars, not just the Porsche. Certainly more Volkswagen Group cars will use this, and probably other makes as well. So we'll get that to the bench and we'll show you how to replace this part here, because that's probably what's going to go in your car. If you've got a car similar to this, it'll be that bit. You can buy that. It is really cheap, to be honest. It's just the actual messing about you have to do to get it changed. But it's quite simple to change once you've got it. Okay, so here's the units for our headlamp washer unit. This is the actual washer head right here. This is the part we're going to have to take out. If you look here, if I can get that thing on focus, hopefully. Are you going to go? There we go. As you can see, that's the way it should look right here with the two lugs sticking out. This one here is broken off. Perfectly normal, it should break off. It's a little plastic component. Why would it stay on there? But anyway, no good to us. So, if I can get this to focus again, come on camera, you know what you're doing. There you go. So we've got to take this off, and what you do is you put the unit on here. Okay, it goes on like so. I'm not going to snap that in place right now. So the plastic that we're using here, you don't want to put it on and off too much. This plastic has a really bad memory, and it'll get really weak the more you do it. This is actually the head for the opposite side that I've got here. But anyway, you get the idea. That snaps into here, and the way you do it is you do it with this already fitted onto the bumper, and this goes from the top, from the other side of the bumper, and ratchets into that, so that you get a perfect fit onto your bumper. This sits flush. This has to sit flush with your bumper. If you'd done it any other way, it'd be difficult to work out if the gap was perfect, this sitting into your bumper. So it's a good way to actually put that together. It's just a pity they didn't make that a little bit better. But anyway, I won't rant on about that. I'll show you how to change this. Basically, this spring's quite strong, so you want to pull this unit out here, hold it with your fingers. This is a ratchet right in here. You want to get a little screwdriver, put that in there. You should pull it up. Now be careful not to pull it. Remember, you're going to be maybe not replacing the whole unit. So you want to keep this, you don't want to break this little tab here, it's very important. Hold that with your body maybe, get a pair of pliers and pull this out. Okay, like I said, be careful with this little part right here. I'm not very good at focusing this camera, am I? I'll get better. Wait, come on, you can do it. There we go. This little part here. And then you've got your new one. I won't do it with the new one because I won't get it back out. The new one, you put it in from the top, clicks in there, and you push it down as far as you need to push it down until it meets the top of your bumper, until the painted bit here meets the top of your bumper. And that's you good to go. And that's your unit. Like I said, we're replacing everything, the whole unit, and these we still have to put them in, but we can't do that until we've got the bumper on the car, and then we'll put these on. So let's get one of these washer units into the car. It's quite easy to put in. These clips right here, we don't trust. Once you've got the old one out, or you've taken the one you're going to reuse, these get a little bit weak and we can't trust that again to hold the new unit in. So what we're going to do is we'll put the new unit in its place, like so. There's a little lug in the back here as well, we need to make sure that's in place. But just to be safe, we're going to take a little zip tie, put it around here. And we're just going to make sure this thing doesn't pop out. It probably won't, it'll probably be okay, but we don't want to trust that 100%. A little zip tie, doesn't cost anything, won't do any harm. And we should be in there good to go, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, our tube, our feed tube goes in here, and our wire harness is going to lie up there, or is the feed tube. So our water feed tube is going in here. This is secure enough, it's not going to come out now, it's not going to play about. We can trim this off. We take now, it's very, very important, extremely important in fact, that this nozzle here goes on the right side. These are sided, so if you put the wrong nozzle in at this point, you're kind of stuck. You've then got to start taking this off again, do the whole thing of taking the washer nozzle out and putting that and changing them over, and then you weaken the little tab that's in there. This is really a one-shot thing, and you want to make sure the nozzle is pointing up and away from the car. So you're pointing, this is the left side of the car here, and this nozzle is pointing up this way. If your nozzle seems to be pointing in towards the car, you've picked the wrong side. Only two sides you can pick, so make sure you get the right one. So right now, this is obviously the back of the unit here, of the cover. We're going to pop the big side in, and we'll click the other side in. It's so weak, it's such a small part, I'm actually frightened to break it just popping it in. It's incredibly small, I wish they would have designed that better. But as you can see, it's secure in there right now. Don't know how long that's going to last, but at least we know it's properly fitted. We'll go from the other side of the bumper now. We'll get it in properly into its hole. And basically we'll hold the unit from the back and we'll ratchet that in as far down as we want it, about there. That's about right. And now if we can see, if I can get the camera, I'll pull the whole bumper up and we'll be able to see it. As you can see there, we no longer have a hole in the front of our bumper. We've got a properly fitted cover, and hopefully that will last us a little while. To make it even better actually, what you can do is, I'll get this up, to make it last even longer, you can actually not put it down real flush down onto your bumper. It's a bit unsightly, to be honest. I normally put it as flush as I can. It puts a little bit more strain on the part, because every time it goes up and down, it's touching both sides, so it's going up, then it's come down and touching, up, come down and touching. If you do one ratchet on the upper side, so you don't put it flush all the way, it'll go down and it won't actually hit the bumper so hard, but the line won't be so good. You'll have a tiny little bump, just a one ratchet worth of line on your washer cover there. Depends how you like it. If you don't mind that little line, then it will last longer, there's no doubt, because it isn't that constant up and down hitting the bumper, and you'll get away with it for a bit longer. But it will break. It will break for sure. But anyway, that one's on. Let's crack on, get the other one done, and what else do we need to do? Yeah, we've got to do all the wrapping on this thing, so we better crack on. So we've got that done. We've got both of our headlamp washer units back in the car. They're sitting quite nicely. And they've both got their zip ties on them right here. And they're just waiting for the pipes to hook them up. And both sides were the same.